Hello, good evening, and welcome to the Lower Leagues podcast. I'm Alan as usual, and I'm joined by Dan. Good evening, Dan. How are you doing?
Good evening, buddy. You well?
Yeah, it's not too bad. Yeah, had a good weekend away in Poole with the girlfriend. Birthday weekend for her. So yeah, had a good time. Got the weather as well, which was really nice.
Decent.
How was your
Not
weekend?
bad. Yeah,
Goal
it's
scoring
good.
weekend as
3 point.
well.
Mate, actually, when I think about it, unbelievable weekend. Like, Carlsberg weekend. What one on Saturday and scored. So that's five and
You're
four.
not going to bring up Arsenal, are you?
Arsenal winning at the death. And then being a golf fan, Ryder Cup, brilliant all weekend. And then Sunday, you're like, oh, it's going to be shit. It's going to be really boring. And then getting 5 hours of absolutely shitting myself. Fucking brilliant. Like, really good. So no, yeah, very good weekend, mate. Didn't even think about that. Yeah.
Brilliant stuff.
Oh,
Brilliant
and
stuff.
the young lads just started tackling in proper tackling in rugby, and Sunday morning seeing him take a few massive hits. I know you shouldn't laugh, but like that was decent watching that, and he loved it to be fair. But yeah, he took some whack. That was quite funny to watch.
Anyway, he didn't get hurt or nothing.
No, he was sound. I was a bit worried this year. I was like, he'll quit and he'll want to go to football, but
How do
he
how do
took a
they?
whack Sunday.
I know we're going a bit off topic, but how do they teach? How do they teach tackling in rugby for
So
kids?
like we've done it for like a month now. So it's all about you learn it like cheek. It's basically getting them in the right position. So like slowing it down. But there's this point where you literally have to rip the band-aid off where you just go, you've got to
Yeah,
almost
yeah,
go for it. So they haven't played an official game yet, but now we've started playing games where we're like at the end of training for 20 minutes, go for it. You've got to manage it because they're still trying to learn. And some of them are a little bit nervous, but some of them just straight in and hit each other. But it's funny, like you watch them get like first time, like he got hit by a big lad and all of a sudden he's on the floor. He's like, oh, right. Okay. Didn't what it thought it was going to be. And he gets up and carries on. So, yeah, mate, there's going to be some hilarious things this season. There'll be kids getting absolutely twatted. Because like 8, 9 years old, everyone's just at
yeah.
different
Different
heights.
heights.
It's
Yeah, yeah.
brilliant, mate. Oh, mate,
Oh,
it's brilliant.
brilliant.
But yeah, all
And
good.
are you
Sorry,
still coaching him as well there?
still coaching. No, nothing about rugby, mate. Absolutely no clue. I've got a load of qualifications in it now. Keep attending courses. I'm more qualified to coach rugby than I am football. Um, but yeah, it's all good, mate. It's all good fun.
Oh, brilliant, brilliant. Right. Look, thanks everybody for watching us here on YouTube. As you can all see, we have got a guest on tonight. It is the ex Newport Pagnell manager, one half of him anyway. Cameron Agnew. Have I said that right?
Yeah, you said it right, mate. Everyone gets it right.
Brilliant
So,
stuff. Good evening, mate. How you doing?
yeah, all good. Thanks. How are you guys?
Yeah, good, good. Look, we'll just get straight into it. Look, the last time we spoke to you was sort of when you sort of took over with the first team um, last season. You came on our radio show. Um, so let's go through after that how the season went. I came to a few games towards the end, and it was quite exciting stuff as well because you were trying to get into the playoffs. But how did the season go as a whole?
Yeah, so I think like when we last spoke, we'd just got knocked out of the FA Vars against Derham, so it was a bit of a low point in that sense
Yes.
because we'd
Yeah,
just brought in Albie. He came back in and had another couple of new signings and kind of freshened up the squad. So yeah, it was disappointing to lose that one. The game we dominated, and it was a literally last minute goal mistake from the keeper and centre half. But unfortunately, that happens. But again, we kind of just said, end of the day, the club have had their Vars run. They've had their journey that they needed to do way before us. So the main thing was trying to turn the season around and stabilise. And from that point on, really, we kicked on. I mean, we had some tough days. I think after that, we played St. Neots just before Christmas and we lost 1-0 and we finished the game with 9 men. Lost two key players, but yeah, we were excellent that day in that sense. Like, game plan went to a T. So, a lot of positives. Again, I don't think over that period between November to April, we weren't renowned for starting games well. There was a
mm.
couple of times where we found ourselves one or two behind. Remember Boxing Day, a few of the lads were hungover. Some of them still stunk of alcohol. We were 2-0 down against Bugbrook. They'd just got a lad on loan from Northampton. and he's put a worldy top corner and then finished a 1-on-1. We were like, oh, where's the fog? Like, it was really misty and all sorts. But yeah, then we turned it around. And I just think like that was the epitome of the side. There was a lot of character, there was a lot of belief, and I think yeah, it was positive. And then obviously to miss out on playoffs on goal difference was an absolute killer. Like I still remember the day quite well because stupidly the league make everyone kick off at different times.
Yeah, that was, I
So
thought that was a bit weird at the time. Yeah,
yeah, I was raging. So yeah, we saw Amesbury had just beaten St Neots, and we went, "This is tough. We need to go and get some goals against Bugbrook." And we did, but second half we didn't do enough to keep them out, and I think we gave away 2 penalties as well. But we still won the game. It was quite an exciting game, like end to end. But yeah, I mean, missing out on goal difference was tough. But I think end of the day we took over about 9, 10 games in, so we had a large part of the season. And I think a lot of people were reflecting on the season, going, "We'd have got playoffs had we started the season well in that sense." But I look at it, go, we drew 0-0, with bottom of the league when we dominated the game until the last 10, 15 minutes. We had a goal disallowed, and it kind of got to our heads. And like you look at those games and go, we're 1 goal away from going into the playoffs, where we had then had Rugby Borough, who we beat 2-3 weeks before then. So yeah, I think gutting, but a lot of positives to take from it. The club were really happy. So yeah.
what was it that you guys did that because obviously when you took over, they were down near the bottom and struggling, and then to go from that in a few months the few months that you were in charge to get to almost getting into the playoffs and losing out by goal difference. What was it that you guys had done with the team to get that sort of resurgence and get them playing that well and almost getting it?
To be honest, like our first game was the Irish game in the FA Vars. That was like a free hit. End of the day, everyone before the game was going, "You got your dev managers in charge. You're going to get battered. There's going to be 6 or 7 put past you." And we just kind of went back to basics, just going, "Look, there's no pressure for you guys to win today. Whatever you do, all you can do is play for this football club, like with heart." And they did, to be fair, with some players missing. Still remember looking around the changing room, going like, people really could break into this 16 that are on the sideline. I think Corvell was missing, Watto was missing. So yeah, a fair bit of firepower. And then look, end of the day, us as managers don't take credit for that result. Like, it was great, everyone was cheering, going like fantastic, walking into the bar, but the players done that. Like, all we done was set them up in a certain way, and they went and carried it out. And that's the way I see it. If you set the players up and they do it, then that's on them. If you set them up and they don't do it, then that's on both of us, really. Game plan was wrong and it wasn't carried out. So one of them that, again, like, the team was good enough. It just needed a bit of fine tuning, should we say, a little bit of belief, and maybe it just needed that change back then. And yeah, we didn't really look back because we went on an absolute run, to be fair. So probably what's the word? Shocked a few people. But again, that's credit to the players for getting us in that position, and also credit to like Aaron, myself, the coaches that had put in a hard graft. I mean, yeah, we were non-stop planning, looking at opponents, going to watch players, going to watch teams. So yeah, it was just a real like high period for the club. But yeah, it was all united on that front, to be fair.
Did you guys do that a lot? Like after games, did you talk to each other? Not just you and Aaron, but you and the rest of the coaching team. Like, reflect on certain results, what could have gone right and what didn't go right, and what you could have done better and stuff like that.
Yeah, you have to, because otherwise you don't learn. Like, the way you need it is, some things need to go wrong to be able to develop further, and I think that's what happened to the players. A lot went wrong in those first 9, 10 games under Parky, but then before then they were excellent. So it just shows form in football can be very interesting and can make or break you. But yeah, we'd reflect as a group. Again, sometimes I could probably say too many chiefs. If you get too many voices, there's too many different opinions. So again, it's what you take in and it's what you take out, because like you guys will know as well, players are quite opinionated now, and it's really, really good.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's really, really good because you see it on a different side. But yeah, then you also go, nah, sorry, I don't agree with that. Like, there's a few like player instances where it's like they're questioning why players start in the squads, and it's like, actually, it's come really good. This player's hit form, potentially gone and won some end of season award trophy and things like that. So yeah, reflection's massive, but I think if there's too many voices, it can disrupt massively.
What was, I suppose the question I got is, you guys obviously went straight into the fire from devs, where I can imagine a little bit more easier to control the dressing room or the egos in a young team, because I think the great setup Newport have got, the devs team is predominantly young lads. What was that like going into a dressing room full of, in the nicest way, for non-league terms, lads who had won FA Vases, lads who had done it, and you've got to go in and you're almost the inexperienced ones, if that makes sense. So,
Yeah,
like, how was that?
100%. Yeah, I completely agree. I think in the sense of, was I bricking it? Yeah, I was. Like, it was only about 18 months before I was in the stands at Wembley, like watching them boys lift the trophy and again walk out the year after. And again, you see the lads around the club, they're a great bunch, but I didn't feel like walking into that changing room in that first game and games after. Sorry if you can hear my dog, by the way, he's crying
No,
again.
you're all right.
No, good. Yeah, walking into the changing room, like the lads were brilliant. Like they didn't have that ego. They just wanted to turn things around. They had this massive drive to get this club forward, because the club really should be in step four. The size of it's fantastic. But yeah, I couldn't fault the lads. Like they were so welcoming to me and Aaron. We hadn't even met some players until an hour and a half before our first game. And it was just about trying to build those relationships and not trying to overcomplicate things. And again, later on in the reign, I would probably say, yeah, we've reflected, we've overcomplicated things, but that happens in football. And you then like reflect and go, football's as simple as you want it to be. So yeah, like top-notch lads, to be fair. They knew what we wanted from them. We knew what they wanted from them, and everything. So yeah, really, really good group.
Amazing.
Brilliant stuff. Yeah, no, exactly. Yeah, and so moving on to this season, how in your
So,
opinion, like how do you think? Sorry, Ben, go on.
no, I was going to say, just to build that in, because obviously it was really interesting when we spoke to Watto and pre-season. He went, it was a little bit, it wasn't the greatest pre-season. Me and Alan from the outside were like, you got some great results in pre-season, like beating MK Dons. I know it's a MK Dons 11 team, but still playing full-time footballers, so to speak, young lad, and like. It was interesting to get, and like again, he explained it in a good way as well. But like, it was just interesting for us. We were like, me and Alan both follow Newport, being local. We were like, oh, it could be a very good season. Pre-season's been good, but it was interesting to hear that perhaps it wasn't as what it seemed from the outside.
Yeah, I think that perception is absolutely massive in that sense. Yeah, perception's huge, and I think you reflect on it and go, there were some really, really good things within pre-season. Like again, like you say, beating the Dons, although they brought a real young squad over, there's still a case of going, you've got to go and beat them. And I think we comfortably beat them. I think we were really poor second half. We had a really good when was it? The second pre-season game we played Rushden, who are step four, and they're doing really, really well. And to be fair, credit to Aaron, I didn't want to play that game. We had a lot of lads missing. It was basically a lot of the lads stepping up and trialists. And well, what did we win? 2-1. So yeah, it went really, really well. And then it's just, you know what, you look at it, Dunstable, we were excellent first 40 minutes on the press, and they have a real good young side who just stepped up their game and just put too much past us. But then I look at their squad now, and a lot of them lads have gone off to like places like America and all of that. So actually, we're probably playing a team that would have done well in step three. for Dunstable. And then again, a lot of the time we were trying to look at players too and build those relationships. So we brought Jacob Williamson in, so we're trying to get minutes up for him because we wanted him to connect with that front three because he was looking really sharp in the 10. So yeah, I think results wise it did look really good. I think there was something missing, and again, putting your finger on it, it could be a number of things. It could be that there was a bit of the tactical side of things. Maybe we were adapting to certain situations as a coaching group, which again you've got to reflect on. But also the play, I will be honest, player availability over pre-season wasn't great. It was quite inconsistent, which you're going to get because everyone wants to bugger off on holiday. And you can't fault them. At the end of the day, they work really hard throughout their whole year, and then pre-season comes around. It's the best time to have a holiday, unfortunately. So that is another factor in that. But then, to be fair, there was a few club things. Again, I don't mind saying I didn't think the pitch was in great nick for us to go and play football. We wanted to get the ball down and play. So a lot of contributing factors. But outside in, yeah, I mean, results-wise, we did do okay. Again, I don't want to win every single game of football in pre-season because otherwise it's irrelevant. It's always nice to beat those teams that you want to beat. But again, I think I'd love to have beaten Winslow in pre-season, but we drew 1-1. I think we were really good first half, but then again, had a real poor second half. So we took lines away from it. And as a player, you want to win every game. But as a manager, it's about that reflection, learning, what can you take from it? So, yeah, you got to see it on both angles. And from a player perspective, 100%. But also on a manager perspective, there was some really good things. There was a real positive vibe around the club. Like, I hadn't seen that vibe for a long time at that football club for the beginning of the season, probably since the season they just won at Wembley. And then obviously all the lads were coming back because keeping that squad together was really, really positive. So, yeah, lots of different instances, different player views, different managerial views, and different coaching views, really. But yeah, a lot could have gone better, a lot could have gone worse. But again, you just got to be happy with the successes and learns from it.
Well, there's one thing you can take away from pre-season is you made a man in Dienzanger very, very happy when you played his 16-year-old son. He didn't even go watch him because he was like, I'll be too nervous to go and watch him. So he come and watch Shanger while his 16-year-old son. I want to say it's Dunstable, Josh Brown. I think he come on. He played half hour.
Yeah.
Josh is he's signed. I think he's technically signed on for Shanger as well.
Oh, is he?
He started playing for the devs. So we're like, well, we can't play you anymore. So he's never actually kicked a ball for us, but he's signed on. But yeah, he was. His dad was buzzing.
Oh, nice. No, Josh. To be fair, we've watched him for the past couple of years. He actually reminds us of another lad that's in the first team at the moment called Joel Horsell. Both real committed lads to the club. Both great footballers, really good defensively as well. But we've seen Josh over the last couple of years play in the JPL. And again, hats off to Aaron. Aaron was the one that orchestrated him coming in. And literally, first touch of the ball, he almost put it top corner.
Yeah, he did. Yeah.
It was unbelievable. But from when I last saw him in the under-16 season to that day, I went, mate, you've grown. You look more of a man. Obviously, still got a lot of growing to do and a lot of football lessons to do. But he's unfortunately out injured at the moment. I think he's due back.
He was down watching us on Saturday, bless him. But yeah, he's been out for a while, bless him. But yeah, he's buzzing, like 16 years old. And he's pretty much he started the season for the devs, played all the games for the devs. So yeah, fair play to him. I said to his dad, I was like, he won't be with us at all ever. But yeah, sure enough, he'll continue there.
At least you can still claim that. You can still claim, Dan, that he's a
mate. We're a Newport feeder club. That's what we are, mate. We feed our players into them.
Yeah, no, he's going to have a bright future, that lad. So as long as you keep him away from you, anyway, so he'll be all right.
Yeah, no, he won't.
Yeah, no, he's a good lad, and yeah, I think the under-18s have missed him. The devs have missed him whilst he's been out injured. Because to be honest, in my eyes, he's the future dev captain over the next few years. Again, everyone's got different opinions on football and things like that, but the way I see it, give it to one of the young lads, throw them in the deep end and let them learn from being up against it really in that challenge. So yeah, he's a good lad.
100%. So once the season started, then this season, what can you put your finger on where it went wrong, what went wrong, why it went wrong, why things didn't go so well?
Yeah,
You were knocked out of the FA Cup early. That was Biggleswade, wasn't it?
Yeah, awful day that one. So yeah, like again, leading into that Nuneaton game, we were positive. We knew Nuneaton were going to be a real good side. I mean, they got over 100 points at step 6. They invested sustainably, but obviously a lot. So we knew they were going to be one of the big budget sides within the league. And again, we looked at pre-season and we were quite happy. We've got this real young, exciting squad. And look, just before that, the club project and everything that was there was, when we first took over, it was to stabilise the club. It was to bring in more local lads, build that pathway and get the attendances up. And I think we've done that. And especially this season with some of the recruitments, some of the lads coming in, we certainly matched that above and beyond. And again, some people would be concerned that there's a lack of experience, but I think with those lads like Smaley, Fordy, Crike, Luke, even Watto to a certain capacity, even though he's still a young lad, they're very experienced footballers. So there's a lot of experience within that already. And again, like I didn't even mention him, but he was probably our player of the year when we took over, Charlie Kill. He was unbelievable. But I think we went into that Nuneaton game positive. We started the game really well. There was a great atmosphere, and to be honest, it felt like it didn't feel like a step 5 football game. It felt like step 2, step 3. You've got the Nuneaton fans singing. It had the FA Bars game written all over it in terms of atmosphere. But yeah, I think we squandered a chance or two early doors.
And a bad penalty.
Yeah, I didn't want to mention that because he's like I have said to him that penalty is probably one of the worst penalties I've seen. But
it's dreadful.
It is, but do you know what? Every penalty Watto has taken, he has dispatched it. Like I don't recall seeing him miss a penalty for Newport. I mean, I might be wrong, but every time he steps up to take a penalty, I feel confident in him. He scored a penalty against the Dons in pre-season, and you go, you know what? He's burying this. Slightly out of form because his goals came at the beginning of the pre-season. But that's where you kind of you want your number 9 to get off the mark early. And I think he changed his mind. And he's learned from it. And since then, he's not looked back. But that was a massive point. I think in the sense of missing that penalty, Nuneaton were just like, well, we're going to get the rub of the green here. And then went down to 10 men in the second half. One of our full-backs got caught high. One of our wingers lost the ball, and then our other winger was creating a triangle in the back, and we just got caught out, and he's brought the lad down, who, to be fair, he was their best player that he brought down. So he was probably going to finish it in some way, shape or form. But although when we went down to 10, Carl Daly was excellent, like absolute standout for a lad that really left Newport 2-3 years ago because of Conway, because there was no way he was going to get in ahead of him at any point. So yeah, he was excellent that day, but yeah, it just wasn't enough from us against Nuneaton when we went down to 10 men, which was gutting. Then the Tuesday night we played Chenooks, lost 3-1. Again, we started the game poorly. I think we were 1-0 down after 20 seconds or so. Long ball, and then they put a cross in, and it's bobbled over the fullback's foot, and you just go, where's your luck? That was a groundsman assist one. So again, obviously, as I mentioned earlier, I wasn't happy with the pitch, so that didn't help. And then after that, we were really good. We were really, really dominant. There was, again, some real good patterns of play, and you go, actually, this is what we've worked on in pre-season. Out of possession, the press wasn't where we wanted it to be, but we were getting a lot of joy of winning the ball back anyway. Probably about 10, 15 yards deeper than where we had wanted to. And then we scored just before half time, carried on knocking on the door for the second half, and then we just got done with the best counter attack I've ever seen at Step 5 football. Like, if they had practiced that in training or whatnot, fair play to them, but I'm sure it was all by luck. It was just
Really?
everything that happened was just perfect, and you admire it. And then got caught at the back post on another counter for the third, and then we just never looked like scoring after that. So that was a painful one. Then we moved into the FA Cup game. We started really bad, really, really bad, mistake after mistake. And look, mistakes get punished in football. And when you're not getting the rub of the green and everything, then you're down. In that sense, it is a horrible place to be. But half time come, we were 4-0 down. And do you know what? We just kind of said to the lads, there's chances in this for us. Like, before half time, we missed 2 really good opportunities. So it was a case of going, look, if we finish 4-2 half time, you know what, we've been poor, but we're still in the game. And then half time, there was a couple of tactical changes, and then we got on the front foot and we were playing really, really well. But we just couldn't get a goal quick enough. I think when we went 4-0 down, I think the next 3 or 4 big chances fell to us. And it was a case of going again, we just can't hit the back of the net. Overall, we weren't good enough in both boxes. Obviously we got a goal in the end, but just weren't enough overall. And then the last game was the Hinkley one where I announced to the lads I was going. Before that, I'd told the club on the Monday before, so the Monday after Biggleswade, I think it was. But in my head, I'd already gone way before then. I wasn't happy. There was a lot of question marks for me going, you know what, if I'm not happy in football managing my local club, then what's going to make me happy within football? Not much.
Yeah.
It was a difficult time. Again, a lot of stuff where a lot of discussions between coaching group and management, a lot of discussions with players and things like that. And it was just, I'd probably just lost my love of it a little bit, not because of the results, because I was well willing to turn that around. It was just, we felt there needed to be a change. I was willing to step down. In that, we had a chat before speaking to the club, and I said that's what I want to do. I want to put the club and the lads before what I want in that. And I just said, you know what, best of luck. And I said to him, I'm going to be there watching your next game on a Tuesday away at Daventry, and if you need anything, let me know. And then obviously chaos really come about that 48 hours. So
yeah, I mean,
so with that, obviously, don't tell us anything you can't tell us, but try and break, because people realise it's not even at this level of football. Still, so much stuff goes on as well behind the scenes that you don't think about. What was that 48 hours like?
So it was chaos. I mean, I'd made the decision on the Monday, so I was at the training Tuesday, Thursday, but I'd been quite reserved. I was checked out in that, going, look, whatever you want me to do, then that's fine. And then on that Saturday, once I told the lads, it was kind of like a weight came off my shoulders. It was, really, really odd, which showed that I needed to do it for a while. My biggest regret at that point and reflection was I should have done it sooner. One, just because of potential benefits for the club in that sense of having one voice and things like that. But then also, I didn't want to have that perception of going, I think my first thought was the 6th of July or something when I bought it. I was like, I can't walk away. The season starts in like 3 weeks. So just for that manner, I was a bit like, right, okay. But then when that 48 hours was hitting, I was kind of like, wow, like weight off my shoulders. I was having about a week and a half, 2 weeks off work after that, and I was just really looking forward to some family time. But then, Sunday I was getting loads of messages. I'd even, like the week before, I'd even wrote a statement to the club because everything was kind of confirmed. The club was still talking to me on the Friday night, to be fair, going, you don't have to do this, blah, blah. But I just said it's the right thing to do. I've committed to it. I've morally gone around this the right way in my head. Could I put up a bit more and staying at the club? Yeah, I probably could have, but I think morally it was what was needed. But yeah, it was just like a weight off my shoulders, really, that 48 hours. And then, funnily enough, I was going to Bycross Zoo on the Monday, so I was up at like 6:30, and I had a message from the chairman saying, "Can you give us a ring?" I was a bit like, "Yeah, that's fine. Give you a ring. What's needed?" And then he just filled me in over the club's decision, and I was a bit taken aback by it. I didn't really say much because in my head, the management group that I had left were carrying on for the foreseeable. They were very willing to turn that season around, and I'm sure they would have in some way, shape, or form. But yeah, they just filled me in on what happened, and they just said, "Look, again, we're going to need some support on info for the boys. They've got Daventry. Was there any prep that you had done? End of the day, can you help with squads? Can you help with letting us know where the training balls are? Just loads of things like that." And again, had I left the club on bad terms, I wouldn't have been as helpful, but I went on my terms. And again, it's a club that I was at for like 24, 25 years almost. So I didn't want to see people struggle. And so I was there on a Tuesday watching, and then had to take the lad to hospital. So because he broke his wrist. So that was eventful. I went from a manager to first aid responder.
So how's it been now? Obviously, it's like anyway. They've now got on, and they're on a bit of a run. They lost at the weekend, but it's been a bit of a run. I don't know their names, Alan do, but the old managers have come in. They've done all right. A little bit painful to sit. I know you still support the club, but thinking that could have been you that took that forward and done that.
Yeah, look, I think anyone would be devastated to leave the club they want to be at, and everything. And yeah, you go, "Oh, could it have been different?" But do you know what? I also look at it and go, a bit like last year. The players were good enough for Parky in that sense, and we took that group on, and that was Parky's foundations. So they've been really, really positive with that, and we've utilised that to our advantage. And yeah, we've had a great turnaround in that instant. And then even this season, like I've gone to a couple of the away games, took the little boy, cheered him on. But I reflect and go, you know what? They're mine and Aaron's foundations that we've put in. We've brought some of these boys to the club. I mean, Corvell, when they played March away on the bank holiday, I was buzzing that he'd scored the winner with like 5 minutes to go, because Corv wasn't signing until the last week of pre-season. And I was on the phone, again, another telling thing. I was on the phone to him 11 o'clock on the Wednesday evening going, "Mate, this is your ultimatum. We want you at this football club. This football club can get you as far as you need to go, and you can get this football club really high." And I just went, you know what? All of those phone calls, the being a bit of a pest in that sense, it was all worth it, because they went and got 3 points against March. I don't think the club have ever done that before. It's a real difficult place to go. So yeah, look, I'm really pleased to see them do well. It's the foundations that we've left. Obviously, the foundations are always going to have cracks in some way, shape, or form, and it's about the new people filling in those cracks and identifying the way they want to play. I think they've set up quite differently. But again, like when Linny got announced, I messaged him within a minute. I was buzzing for him. I saw him the week before he got announced, and I was really hoping he got it. And I said, look, if he ever needs anything, then I'm just a shout away. My obviously answer of part in the football club was for more family time, and I needed to do it for myself. But also, if that football club wanted me back within a week or two, and I could have been help in some capacity, then that's what I'd have done. So yeah, it's a really odd one to say that, but I think people knew where my head was at and everything from there. So yeah, and it's a case of going, you know what, the club need to get to step 4. Me and Aaron wanted to do that. We were working really hard. Like I'd probably say we spoke every day, and you probably wouldn't have found 2 people working as hard as we did to try and get this football club higher. And a lot of people probably say that about themselves, but I'm a lad that won't dig myself up or like try and give myself confidence that I don't need in that sense. But yeah, we worked hard. It was tireless. It was positive. Like our win percentage and things like that. I think we got a 63% win percentage. It's the second highest of any managerial duo or manager within Newport. And I know you look at it, it goes over a short time, but percentages equal out. So yeah, lots of positives, and I think Flinny and Chancey will just continue some of the real good work that myself and Aaron have done. Learn from some of the mistakes that maybe me and Aaron have made, but also learn from mistakes they've made. I mean, they've been managing for 10, 15 years, and I think they will utilise that experience to really pick on for this football club. I mean, they've done Wembley twice, so they can get the club promoted. I think there'll be a few golden statues around Newport Pagnell for them too.
So a question I did want to ask then. So don't expect you to divulge budgets, but like when you talk about, I hear it a lot. Newport needs to get step 4, and I'll ask it as a 2-pronged question. Now, do Newport have a budget to get step 4? And what I mean by that is like another team I'm following, like Welling, right?
Yeah,
they've got unbelievable budget, so it's almost like they have to get to step 4 because you're paying step 4 wages, if that makes sense already.
Yeah.
The Newport need. Is the budget? What I'm asking is the budget enough, or do Newport having to rely on really good coaching, really good management to get the players that are step 5 players to get them to step 4?
I would say there's a mixture. Obviously, you would see that money in non-league football now is a joke. Like
Crazy.
it is ridiculous. It is floating around like no tomorrow. The UCL. Again, you hear whispers. You never get it confirmed.
Sure.
And for us to go from step 7, where it's a case of getting all these young players, this, that, and the other, to go to a budget environment was a bit of an eye opener within the non-league environment in itself. So it took us a while to adjust and adapt. Again, the budget's what you make of it, and every team will underpay a player because they want to be at the club and this, that, and the other, and they're just like, yeah, I'll take that. Every team will overpay a player, and that's because they want them at this club because it's such a fierce market. So there's the budgets can be very hit and miss. We got some great things right with it, and we got some things wrong with it. In the sense of the step 4 budget, to be honest, the club could have a better answer of that, because end of the day, you see some of these step 5 teams knocking step 4 teams out of the FA Cup.
And that's what I mean. It seems to be loads of people have got money. And like years ago, I remember, like, I think I said this before, my mate played at step 4 10, 12 years ago. And he was earning 180 quid cash. And it was like, oh my God, that's amazing money. Now people are earning that at step 6. And it's like, how has it got to this point that people are earning, where it used to be 40 quid an envelope, hundreds and hundreds of pounds from training technically once a week and 2 games on a Tuesday and a Saturday?
Yeah, exactly. And I think a bit of boring stuff now really is you look at that and go, inflation's massive right now. If you think about minimum wage, what is it, £12 something an hour? If you reflect on that and go, right, these lads are training for 4 hours a week, and then obviously playing a game, you go, okay, if you took that into minimum wage in that sense, you could probably have a bit more of a business case for it. Obviously, players getting paid for something they love, even better. In that degree. But again, like I'd probably say, I don't know other clubs. Newport certainly wasn't the highest, but it wasn't the lowest in that sense as well. So there's a lot of money getting thrown about. I mean, even the South Mids this year, obviously with Welling going in, I've heard rumours and everything. But again, you just never know. The only people that really know what the budget is the manager, the chairman, and the treasurer. So all I'll say is that Newport is a very sustainable club. The Vars has given people a really bad perception of the club because of all the prize money and everything. But how they've invested it isn't just in the player budget, it's on the ground. I mean, the ground, you look at it from 4 years ago, it's unbelievable. So I would say there's a real bad perception around money with Newport in the sense of player budget. Obviously it's healthy, it's competitive because the club do want to get up, but also you look at it and go, there's step 5 clubs beating step 4 clubs that are hitting near enough playoffs, and you just go, you know what, money is a luxury within football. It's the passion and everything like that again people really want, and again that's even more of a luxury. So yeah, it's just a case of weighing everything up and going from there. But yeah, money is crazy within non-league football, but yeah, at Newport they're sustainable. They're in a good place. It's just about investing in the right players, in the right environment, and yeah, I think they'll be step 4 in no time.
It's funny enough. So like, I know a few people over at Cranfield at Step 6, and I knew last season they weren't paying any. They generally weren't paying anyone. This year they are unbelievable. In 5-6-0 every week. No, we're not paying. And I'm like, fuck off, Mike. There's no way you've gone from 12th at Step 6 to all of a sudden just pumping the league, and they're like, oh no, the league's not as good as it was. No, fuck off. That doesn't happen overnight. And it's not, they're good coaches over there, but it's not. And it's just funny. Like, that's the thing at this level. What makes you laugh is you've got a team who can finish near the bottom, and all of a sudden they get a local guy who's clearly just got a bit of money, been to football, pumps a load in, and then all of a sudden they are king. But it's nice to see what Newport are doing, because one of our guys attached to our club is a surveyor, and he's been doing some stuff at Newport. And he's like, the plans that are going on there look phenomenal. The stuff they're doing and the ambition for the future, it looks brilliant what's going on. So, yeah, exciting times for them.
Yeah, it is really good. I mean, again, like looking at those Step 6 clubs that have got a budget and things like that, I don't think silly money's getting thrown around. Again, when you go for players, you do find out what other clubs are offering. So, and again, funnily enough, Step 6 to Step 5, some players do get clubs offering them from both levels, because the Step 6 clubs are being ambitious and the Step 5 clubs are looking around for the local talent. Again, looking at who's the next best thing coming through. And yeah, you kind of do hear whispers of what some clubs are on, or what players are on, and what clubs are giving in that sense. And yeah, I think like Newport, like you say, what they're doing with money is really, really good. They're very clever. They've got a lot of passionate people that just want to see the club do well. And yeah, just really exciting time. And again, I still feel part of it, which is really, really nice. I was down there Sunday watching the women's game. So yeah, I've probably been down there more since leaving than I was actually managing. So yeah, it's a good environment.
So what is next? Are you planning to get back into it at some point, or what's the next path?
What's next? So funnily enough, I'm not out of football at the moment. I've got an under-10s team my niece used to play, but she's decided to stop. So I'm still with that team. So I'm still within football, grassroots, absolutely love it. Funnily enough, we played Newport Town at the weekend and beat them. So it was funny. I was there in my Newport Town kit managing against them, and it's like, all the young kids are like, why are you in green? So yeah, that was quite funny. But yeah, what's next? Look, I think the club knew that week when I announced that I left that I wasn't going anywhere else. I wanted to be at Newport. That's where I see myself in some way, shape, or form. But it's just a case of having family time. And yeah, I've realised I've missed out on a fair bit of that. Again, like I'm only 29, even though I look about 39. I've got a young family, so I need to make sure I commit there. Me and my missus are doing a marathon next year, so I need to get myself back in shape and fit for that. So yeah, it's just enjoy being out the game, and yeah, let's see what comes about, because there'll probably be a time where I do get the itch for it. And look, if a club come to me and say we want you in, then I'd have that discussion. I want to be at Newport, but you just never know what's around the corner. So
of course, yeah.
No, do you still have that ambition? Because before you, when you was on the radio show, you wanted to sort of have that ambition to go up the levels. Is that still the case, even if it's not with Newport?
I think that anyone that's within football wants to go as high as they possibly can. So I think it'd be silly to not have that ambition. Again, there's always that growth. Again, like how many people under the age of 30 can say they've managed at a Step 5 club? So it's a real good thing to have on the CV. But I think end of the day, would I go back into joint management? No, I don't think I would. if I become a manager, I'd look to go my own way. Me and Aaron always said that we would do that one day, and that time came. And you have to use that and reflect on how we've helped one another get to where we are, which was really, really good. And yeah, do you know what? I probably, if I got back into football, it'll probably be more of a coach role in that sense. Take away the admin, take away the Thursday, Friday night phone calls, talking to players, and because I didn't do enough coaching whilst I was manager, and I quite like getting in the coaching, getting the coaching hat on and affecting situations and things like that. We always said that whilst we're trying to learn the level, we'd get the coaches to take this training session. Myself and Aaron would utilise it to sort of pub bits out, watch players, talk to players, be at training for any whatever the lads need, but also reflect upon shape work and everything like that.
Yeah.
Because you need to find that healthy balance of being too involved in coaching, in the sense of going, you forget the management piece, which is not healthy. And then you flip that on the other way around and go too involved in the management piece, but you forget the coaching. So yeah, probably could have found that healthy balance. And yeah, got involved in the sessions a little bit more. Because again, when I've done that, I enjoy it. So, and that's probably where a lot of the strengths is, because as soon as you can get players engaging, then it's a win-win on the session. I think, again, one of the things for the players in that sense was when I played football, I hated training when it was boring and things like that. But then coming into management, it's a case of going, you know what, when you put a training session on, some sessions will only impact or directly affect 60% of the players that are there, because you have to work on these things. So, yeah, it's been a massive learn in that sense. But yeah, look, the door's always going to be open for a chat. I've had a couple of offers for stepping in for games, this, that, and the other. I had one this week to help out, but unfortunately, work is taken over a little bit in that sense. And then, yeah, I've had like offers to come in, but it needs to be right for me. It needs to be right for the family. So I probably put myself in football ahead of them too much.
So a quick one for me then, before Alan signs us off, because I like to try and use these as how can I benefit my club. Curious then on because what you said earlier, you talk about Thursday night, Friday night phone calls to get the squad out. Did all of your players know before they arrived Saturday if they were starting or if they're on the bench?
No, so we told them on that Saturday.
Okay, cool.
One thing is if you tell them too early, players talk, players get wound up. I'm one
players.
I like
players that know they aren't starting tend to sort of maybe drop out. Oh, I can't make today, or I'm not very well.
Yeah, or they'll go out for the Warbler on a Friday night or something like that. It's one of them that you've got to find that healthy balance. And again, did we always get that right? No, because we were always learning in that sense. I prefer having that honest conversation and just saying, look, you're on the bench today, and these are the reasons. And we did do that last year. Some worked really, really well, but some didn't in that sense. Some decisions were quite difficult ones, and again, that's where we reflected and went, we got it really right today, or actually we got it wrong. So we've got to put it right and go from there.
And then also, then the caveat to that is, when did you let them know when they're in the squad? Was that Friday night, as you said, or do you?
Yeah, so our aim was to try and sort it on a Thursday, to be honest with you. But we didn't train on a Thursday. So when we took over, we were only training once a week, which wasn't enough. The Step 5 club wanted to go up, and there was a lot of club things that we wanted to sort out and get right, which we managed to put right this pre-season. So yeah, leading into this this season, it tended to be on a Friday. Sometimes it was quite early, sometimes it was quite late. But our preference would have always been a Thursday evening. But you can't always do that as well, because if players have got slight knots and everything, you need the physio to check them out on a Thursday. We'll then get an update going. They're going on a run Friday just to see what impact they can have and everything from there. So there are delays, but also managers are people. We've got work, and everything there. So yeah, there's a lot to it. But it's more a case of getting it out as early as possible is better. But yeah, starting lineup always Saturday. long as it's before 2 o'clock in that sense, when you're running through some shape work and everything from there. But I'm sure other clubs do it differently. But yeah, for me, it's a case of going, 2 o'clock Saturday. You know what you're doing. Again, you'd have had the conversations just before as they're arriving, just checking in. But then they've probably not got enough time to digest it and potentially affect their head mentally. So yeah.
Fair enough. Over to you, Alan.
So for you, Dan, how does it work at Shangerland? What do you do? What does your manager
I'm quite
do?
obviously not manager, but as like secretary running club, I'm quite adamant. I like people, especially at our level, because in the nicest way, we're not paying people; they're paying us to play effectively.
Yeah.
Like, I'm adamant it has to go out Thursday. So, and to be fair, the guys get it 7 o'clock Thursday night. The messages go out.
Is that the starting lineup as well?
No, that's the squad. And then Matt starting lineups. To be honest, it sounds really arrogant. Dropping down to play in the Resi this year is sort of no. I like to touch wood. I like to. I know I'm captain, so if I'm not playing, if I've not had a phone call on Friday, or I'm pretty pissed off if I was to turn up. Hasn't worked out yet, but normally I think everyone's different, and I like as a player, I like to know. I would always like to know, and I've always said it. My time will come. Don't tell me in a dressing room full of people. That will fucking be really embarrassing. Don't. But yeah, we do the managers that generally, when people arrive, it's written on the board. So when people walk in, they see. But if it's a particular player, I think they normally take them aside before they even come to the dressing room. They see. But yeah, Thursday, everyone knows squad. Because then at least in the nicest way, if someone is being rare at our level, would ever get left out. But if you do, let them arrange something to do that weekend. Let them go out on the pitch or whatever.
Yeah.
You best not get.
Well, I'm just curious.
Yeah.
Pardon?
No, it's fair enough. I think a lot of managers would. Hey.
I was just saying, Dan best not get dropped on the squad. Then he won't be happy.
Well, that'll be my parting gift. All right, thank you very much. I'm off then. Jesus, if I can't make it in the bottom league of men's football, it is time to go. It is that's when you know it's the end of the road. And my wife's already said to me, "Come on now, you're getting on a bit. Like you can't." But yeah,
are you old enough for vets football?
Yeah, I've passed that.
Yeah,
I could have played it a couple of years ago, but I just can't. I can't bring myself back. I'm not playing Sundays. I'm not. I'm hanging on to I was trying to work out. I was like, I must be near I've got to be near 1,000 appearances. I've got to be near 1,000.
Who works it out with the club then? Who works it out?
No idea. I've done over about 140 games for Shanger, but my previous clubs, I must have done nearly 1,000 now.
There'll be a tweet later saying, "Oh yeah, played over 1,000 games and scored 947 goals."
Well, you're not far wrong, no. But yeah, one more year, Alan. One more year.
One more. Oh, is that official? Is that?
Yeah, I think this. Yeah, official. Yeah, one more year. Let's get more goals and games this year. Then I can win the double. Then call it quits.
You heard it here first, ladies and gentlemen. You heard it here first. Look, right, Cam, thanks for coming on. It's been a great pleasure chatting to you again. I know I've been texting you over the weeks and the months since the season started. It's been great chatting to you and all that, and learning a lot from you and everything as well. But so hopefully you won't stay away for too long, and you'll be back in men's football, adult football, or in some capacity, plying your trade. Yeah, thanks for coming on. It's been great.
No, I appreciate that, guys.
Thanks
for having me.
Cheers, buddy.
Don't go away though, Cam. We'll have a little chat when we finish. But Dan, you got anything to say? Say goodnight.
Oh, night. Yeah, take care.
Thanks for watching, everybody on YouTube. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. We'll be back in a couple of weeks with another episode. See you all soon.